Do you put your underwear in the freezer? No, but I guess it's never too late to start. Oh my god, this is ridiculous. Welcome back to another episode of Rusty Responds, where I finally stop ignoring my audience and answer all the questions that you've been dying to ask. Great news, real quick. The Indiegogo campaign for my comic book, Requiem of the Crazies, has just passed $19,000 in funding, meaning that we've just reached the first stretch goal. So every contribution will get one of these Safe Haven stickers along with all of your other perks. The next goal is $22,000. So if we reach that, then everyone will get one of these Avian Crux pins along with all of your other perks. Just look at that. That's pretty badass. I'm also offering exclusive merch items with every contribution, like these stickers, patches, more pins, posters, and a lot more. If you're interested in supporting my comic book about two bums trying to stop a malicious cult leader's attempt to brainwash the homeless, and reserve your copies of all 3 comic book issues, please consider contributing to my Indiegogo campaign through the links below. I much appreciate your support. Anyways, I got a lot of questions here, so let's just get into it. How many times a day do you get tagged in TikToks ripping off your Knife Game song? I plan to make a full video covering this topic, but for now, what he's referring to is a recent TikTok trend where everyone sings their own different lyrics over this melody. Here's just a few examples of what I'm talking about.
Hi, my name is Santa, giving gifts is what I do.
If you saw me how I saw you, then you could be my boo.
Hey look, there is no hashtags, there is no caption too.
If you got a problem, go and fix it, that's your deal.
I'm sorry for weebing, but weebing's what I do.
Being a girl means lots of hate directed right at you.
I fucking hate Walmart, I really, really do. And if you've been to Walmart, then you hate Walmart too.
Now, of course, a ton of people obviously recognize that this is the same melody from my Knife Game song. I have all my fingers, the knife goes chop, chop, chop. If I miss the spaces in between, my fingers will come off. But I think what caused it to blow up on TikTok, for the most part, was the popularity of a song by Ken Dog in which he used that same melody for his song Drip Like Me. So I had to re-edit this video because the clip of Ken Dog's Drip Like Me got claimed by Warner Music Group, which is funny because that song uses my copyrighted melody. Anyways, you just have to look up Drip Like Me if you want to hear what I'm talking about. Sorry. It's pretty much the exact same melody, but I think a lot of people on TikTok just assume that it was an old song that's been around forever, and then it just kind of caught on. So now there's a ton of parody versions of it popping up all over on TikTok, and I get tagged in them pretty frequently. I've noticed Lives of Flies has similarities to the Gorillaz track Clint Eastwood. Did you take any inspiration from that track while making your song? Oh yeah, of course. I grew up listening to Gorillaz' first album, and the producer Dan the Automator is a genius when it comes to musical composition. Clint Eastwood has a strong beat that just keeps the song moving. That, along with the memorable riff, and the inclusion of both singing and rap vocals, is something that I really loved about the song, and something I wanted to emulate in my song, The Lives of Flies.
Bought no toy material, but fodder from the breeze. Alright, now you got this, everything you needed to survive.
I mean, like they say, if you're gonna steal, might as well steal from the best. And while I didn't actually steal anything from the song, I definitely tried to assimilate my own version of the elements that I thought made it so good. So yeah, if you hear similarities between The Lives of Flies and Clint Eastwood, that was intentional. How do you feel about people using your music in videos, with credit provided, of course? That's fine with me. I don't really care if people use my songs in their videos, as long as it's not like a direct re-upload of a song that I already have on YouTube. But if it's just included in your videos, like background music or whatever, I don't really care. Where do you think you'll be in 10 years from now? It's hard to say for sure. I tend to think that the world is going to be a completely different and unrecognizable place in 10 years. And I don't think the complacent safety of having a job like being a YouTuber will even exist anymore. And quite possibly that the United States will crumble into chaos and lawlessness once the inevitable cyber attack from China wipes out all of our banking information, erasing all history of how much money people have stored digitally, erasing all debts and all non-physical documents of property ownership. This will, of course, reset everyone's financial standings, placing them equally at rock bottom. Fear and chaos will drive us to commit horrific acts against our fellow man. Hospitals will be operating at incredible strains, and many people will die. And the new American Home Protection Force will systematically execute all citizens who have not been vaccinated for COVID-19, even though all records of vaccination will have been erased as well. So there will be no order to these executions. I hope that I'll be out in the woods on a compound somewhere with high walls and tank-proof barriers, hiding in a stone sub-basement with cyanide pills nearby in case I have to take one to avoid an even worse fate. But this is the worst case scenario. Best case, my YouTube channel will have 2 million subscribers, I'll have released a 5th album, and completed my comic book series, the movie rights of which will be sold to some high-end production studio to be turned into a feature film. But I guess we're just gonna have to wait 10 more years to find out. What is something that you wished you were better at? I wish I was better at lassoing or rope spinning, whatever. It's a pretty impractical skill for my lifestyle considering I don't herd cattle or work at a rodeo, but it just seems like one of those random skills I should know how to do, cause it looks pretty badass when you're good at it. It's just really complicated to do. You have to throw the loop a certain way and constantly twist the rope with your non-spinning hand to avoid tangles. I don't know, I just have a hard time getting the hang of it. Hey, look at that, I got it. Kinda. Have you ever had to stop watching a movie because it made you feel too uncomfortable watching it? Oh yeah, I've only walked out of one movie in my entire life. Like, left the studio. Not really because it was uncomfortable, but because it was too stupid and annoying to watch. That movie is, of course, The Greatest Showman, or as I like to call it, the greatest piece of shit in the entire world. And don't be tricked by the good rating on IMDb. All those people that gave it a positive review are brain-dead scumbags. I'm serious, The Greatest Showman sucks. It's supposed to be a movie about P.T. Barnum, the 1800s wheeling and dealing businessman who's popular for creating Barnum and Bailey's circus. So I was expecting the movie to reflect the mood of the times and the con-manish lifestyle of P.T. Barnum. But no, this movie had nothing to do with P.T. Barnum, even though technically that's the character that Hugh Jackman was portraying. Instead, The Greatest Showman is a melodramatic, semi-romance cornball musical about circus performers and freak shows learning to love themselves despite looking different. The acting sucks, the plot sucks, and on top of that, the music is horrific to listen to. Wouldn't you think that a movie taking place in the 1800s would have a soundtrack that would reflect the times? Well, that's what I thought. But no, the music completely takes you out of the period with shitty anthem songs that sound like they were written by Imagine Dragons. If I haven't made my point clear, I hated this movie. And despite making it an hour and a half in, I just couldn't bear it anymore, and I had to walk out of the theater. The Greatest Showman? Unwatchable. 0 out of 10. Sorry, I got a little worked up there. Opinion on the otherkin community? Otherkin. What is otherkin? Otherkin. Otherkin are a subculture who socially and spiritually identify as not entirely human. Some otherkin claim that their identity is genetic, while others believe that their identity derives from reincarnation, trans-species dysphoria, ancestry, or metaphor. Otherkin largely identify as mythical creatures, with others identifying as creatures from fantasy or popular culture. Examples include angels, demons, dragons, elves, fairies, sprites, aliens, and cartoon characters. Well, what do I think about these people? Personally, I think that they're mentally ill, or they're just having a lot of fun LARPing. That, or they're children who never got bullied. When you're growing up, it's pretty common for kids to pretend to be something that they're not, like, oh, I'm gonna pretend to be a dog, or I'm a demon because I'm so dark. But you do that when you're in your early teens or like prepubescent, and normally that's something that would get bullied out of you for the better. But now, since, you know, bullying is considered all around evil, kids essentially grow up thinking that they're demons or elves, and they never grow out of it. And they end up going online talking to other people, other communities where people are saying, yes, I identify as a fairy. And they see that, wow, there's more people out there that are just like me. And also, in this day and age, you know, you can't call anyone out by criticizing what they identify as. So all of this just gets accepted, and essentially you just have a bunch of loons running around. If you're an otherkin, you got a weird fucking religion, and you should probably not tell anyone. Tell me something that you've learned recently. Well, actually, recently I learned how to move things with my mind. How does it feel to have people overwhelmingly support your comic book projects? Is it more than you expected? Oh, it's definitely more than I expected. This being my first venture into creating comic books, I wasn't really sure how people would receive it. I know a lot of my audience comes here because they want to hear my music, but in my mind, the comic book is kind of just an extension of the music. A visual compendium of sorts that includes a lot of similar themes and moods as my albums. So I'm glad that people are actually enjoying this new medium. I'm not done with music, of course, and actually have a few songs that I'm planning to release soon. But I'm very appreciative of all the support that I've received so far. And if you haven't joined the Indiegogo campaign for Requiem of the Crazies #3, there is no better time to join. Just click the links down below, check out all the perks that I have to offer, and if you decide to contribute, we can make this comic book the best one yet. Well, I guess that's all the questions that I have for today. If you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. You know, hit like, subscribe, ring the bell, and of course, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. You get it. All right, goodbye.